Good morning. Now that it's after 10 o'clock in the morning, we can make loud noises as the town volume limit ordinances. And so we're doing another segment. We're trying to get 45 minutes done today on Chapter 4. Chapter 3, we got 45 minutes done in the Chromebook. And in the last 3.5 minute segment, we were talking about coworkers. This is coffee. It's brewing on its own. I think it's not gonna catch on fire or anything. So there was that, and then in the limited amount of time, I put together a small list of coworkers. And I'm not going to read it out loud. I'll just focus this here. This is the best I can do. It's a little blurry, but I mean, Albert Hoffman's great grandnephew. Yep, that's me. Born 32990 Nassau Coliseum, Uniondale, New York. That's not where I was born. I was born in New London City, but they made a big thing of it at that show in front of 500,000 people or something. And a couple of years later, I was 4, finding my fingers and toes, learning the ABCs rather. I met Jerry's youngest backstage at the Dead Show, and why? Because we'll find that this one here, Bear Stanley, sound assistant, 87 to 95, is a good family member. That's me. Oh, of course it's nonfiction. Of course it's nonfiction. My great grandmother really was born in Switzerland in 1908. My brother's name was Albert, and it's all very young. Ladies was the nanny of 10 years. Surprised that anyone knows about her. Now, Grandpa Silva is the real hero of the chapter because from getting the Congressional Medal of Honor from the President of the United States after his USS Seacat SS-399 travels in the United States Navy for Hiroshima, he managed to meet and greet the presidents in New London City. New London City hosts the presidents every year during May so that they can give a speech to the graduating class of the United States Coast Guard in only the class of the New London Coast Guard Academy. He doesn't go to every Coast Guard base all over the country and give a speech to every. I mean, that's not his job. So we listed the 7 celebrities. We have, and this is in no particular order. I try to make them by year, but I got distracted with Bush Jr.'s kid there, Pierce. And most of them were born in the early 80s. I'm born in 1990. And then you'll notice a couple of them are born, these two, 6 and 7, are born after me. Now, Daisy was a foreign exchange student because Old London, Old England was bombed to hell. She wanted to visit New London, New England with her parents. I was her pen pal for the J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter assignment while I lived in Sunderland Fallout Shelter. Now, Bear's sound assistant quit the band of the Grateful Dead in about 2006 and settled into DOD something more patriotic, something. And we'll notice Bob, Billy, Mickey, Phil, etc. are getting old in age. What are they, 80, 70 something, 80 something now? So they'll live to 100 and then they'll retire and go visit the moon or something, leaving Jerry's youngest, who I've known all but 4 years, so about a quarter century now, almost a quarter century, in place. Of course, that's her option, and we're on the East Coast here. We don't have to worry about her stumbling into the neighborhood. Yeah, I just wrote a 10-minute segment, and then and I think everything's well. Peter Lennon, FBI, 45 years. He's my granddad, and then Silva was my grandpa. They both. Peter took me to my first presidential conference back in 1996, where I met Chelsea Clinton. And then later, him and Grandpa in 2001, New London City near the Coast Guard. Yep. And Paris and Ivanka, that's the segment that I wanted to continue on. His great grandmother may have been a domestic terrorist due to her brother's invention for 100 years. Eventually, though, said, well, LSD 25 has caused a whole hell of a lot more damage, and you're responsible because you were in this and that because your brother's invention. And so Albert passed away in 2008. She was packing her bags to Switzerland when she unexpectedly passed away almost in my arms. I knew her 18 years. She was literally on her way to Switzerland to go visit her brother Albert. Where's the money, Lebowski? Would be a decent motto. So you want money from a Schedule 1 narcotic that's been ruining the country for 50 years straight? That doesn't make sense, does it? Would you rather handcuffs? And personally, 10 years ago when I was taken aside as an adult, just 18 and some months, I chose the 10-year rehab at home so I could escape handcuffs. Since then, in 2014, 1P-LSD has become illegal to possess, sale, and etc. Probably not usage for consumption without permit. But you can go ahead and buy that offline if you'd like, and it'd contribute to the Hoffman family in Switzerland. It probably is an invention from 1940 something. They say it was just invented in 2014. A load of garbage, if you'll ask me. And coffee's about up. We're almost at 6 minutes. 6 and 3 is 9, and it only holds about 9.5 bit of footage. So I'm going to do an upload which takes about 45 minutes. You want to get a quick selfie and see these are my shoes and my pants, the golden thread, and that's me there in my new trailer. It's the Vacation Victory home for 25 years at the same place, pretty much. 20 years in the same place. And then I move out this year. That's Uncas there in the corner. Yeah, well, I'm 12.5% werewolf of the southeastern Connecticut non-Algonquin due to John Hyde, which was Phoebe's mate for some time until he passed away, and then she regained her maiden name and dated a couple times. Maybe she was married another twice. As far as the Swiss Hoffman family in America, I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then myself. And I'm the only one in the age range to handle anything of Keelan's anything, and as well as a couple of the president's daughters. I'm not old enough to handle any of the presidents myself. The most current one, I met the Trumps in it about 1999 when I was rich and famous before the big guy upstairs quit the band. Speaking of quitting, it's about 7 minutes. I'm going to run.